Hi everybody, John here with Cruiser Customizing, back in the shop today with our 2013 Ultra Classic Limited. Today we're going to be swapping out this stock exhaust and we're going to be throwing on the Cobra power port, header up front, true duals all the way back into a set of the Cobra 909 4-inch slip-ons. This thing's going to sound absolutely awesome. Before we head back into the shop, I want to give you just a sound check on what this stock exhaust sounds like so you can really appreciate that aftermarket pipe once we install it. So I'll see you in the shop. Before we can install our new exhaust system on the bike, this old one's got to go. So to do that, we need to get some of this stuff out of the way. I went ahead and popped off the saddlebags and the right side cover so we can gain a little bit of access and save a little bit of time. The next thing we're going to do is remove our floorboards off of the right hand side of the bike, and also we're going to be disconnecting our O2 sensor. So let's go ahead and get started. Now we're going to go ahead and remove our bracket that holds this factory cross pipe. You're going to have two Allen bolts that thread right into the back of the transmission and one bolt right at the bottom of that cross pipe bracket. Let's go ahead and get started. Now we're ready to go ahead and remove these mufflers. You're going to have a couple clamps right up here towards the front. One of them is going to hold the muffler on this side. The other one is going to connect to that crossover pipe that goes to the muffler on the other side. We'll loosen up those clamps, and each muffler will have a couple bolts there in the back. Again, make sure you hang on to all of these bolts because some of these will be reused during the install. So let's go ahead and pop these things off of here. All right, everybody, we're almost there. The last thing we need to do on the removal process is to get these head pipes out of here. To get these things off, you're gonna have a couple nuts that hold the exhaust flange onto the cylinder head. There'll be two on the rear cylinder and two on the front. Also, there's a mounting bracket right at the bottom here. We're actually gonna take off that entire mounting bracket because the kit is gonna come with a new one because the new exhaust is located in a slightly different location. So let's go ahead and get this thing out of here. All right, now it's time to install our new Cobra exhaust. Before we get started, there's a few things to note here. First off, we're gonna need our factory O2 sensors. I pulled these out of the stock pipe, and these will get threaded into the bungs on these new exhausts. But these are actually just a little bit different. To make sure everything goes back in the spot where it's supposed to, Harley Davidson color codes these. It makes it super easy. And in the Cobra instructions, it says to make sure you use the black connector on the rear head pipe and the gray connector on the front head pipe. Also, we're gonna need to replace that bracket. This one, like I said in the instructions earlier, that's gonna need to come off of there and be replaced with the bracket that's included in the kit. So we'll pop that guy off of there and put the new one in its place. Make sure you hang on to those bolts because you'll be reusing those. We'll also install this clamp that slides over that front head pipe. That's gonna hold that in place. When we get these situated up into the cylinder head, we're gonna start all of the nuts that hold the pipes onto the head, and we're not gonna torque them down yet. We'll actually torque everything down once the entire exhaust system is installed. Also, first things first, make sure you replace your exhaust gaskets. As you can see, these didn't fare too well whenever we tried to remove them for inspection. So we're gonna be swapping those out for some new ones. Anytime you have your exhaust off, it's always a good idea to put on some new exhaust gaskets. So let's go ahead and throw some new parts on this beast. With the head pipes installed, now we can throw on our crossover pipe. This is going to take the place of that catalytic converter system on the original exhaust. And it actually lets us relocate our O2 sensors up into the head pipes, and we went ahead and plugged those up just to keep them out of the way while we complete our install. Now Cobra is going to include a couple components on this part of the install. One of those things is going to be a couple clamps. Make sure you put these on this crossover pipe before you install it on the bike, because once it's in place, you're not going to be able to slide them on there. Also, you're going to get a replacement bracket. The bracket that we took off of this is not going to be in the right location, so you'll need to use the supplied bracket that Cobra sends so we can make sure that this crossover pipe is secure. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these parts on here. Before we go through and tighten down everything on our new head pipes, we need to install our new mufflers. These are those 4-inch slip-on 909s from Cobra. These things are going to make this bike sound like an absolute beast. So we'll go ahead and slide these on here, and then we'll tighten up everything else on the new exhaust system that we just installed. Quick note, the one that goes on the right, that's the one with the dent, so it can clear the axle there. Let's go ahead and get these things thrown on. With the exhaust system installed and tightened up, now it's time for the heat shields. Just use the included hose clamps to hold these things in place. After you get all those on and tight, you can use a little bit of Windex to wipe off all the paw prints you got on this thing while you were installing it. Any of those greasy fingerprints left behind could be a permanent fixture on your new pipes. So to make sure that doesn't happen before you fire this thing up for the first time, make sure all those greasy fingerprints are gone. After all of that's tightened up and cleaned up, we can go ahead and use these included spacers. These will go on that front floorboard to make sure it steps out enough to clear that new heat shield. And we're also going to want to secure those O2 sensor lines as well. After all that's completed, we'll throw on our side cover and our saddlebags. We'll wheel this beast out of the shop and fire it up for the first time. So let's go ahead and get this thing finished up. All right, everybody, we pulled back out into the alley again to give this thing the sound off test. We all want to hear what that new exhaust system sounds like and what the power increase is going to feel like. But before we do that, I want to go over everything that we've done to this bike to get the most out of this exhaust system. Of course, we've installed that full true dual header exhaust system from Cobra. We've also installed one of their power flow air intake systems with that K&N air filter, which is going to allow this thing to take in a ton more air whenever you're out riding down the road. Right underneath your right side panel, you can't see it right now, but we've got the Power Pro black tuner. That's the Bluetooth connectability tuner that allows you to see everything that's going on with the bike right on your smartphone. You can clip it to your handlebars, see everything that's going on with the bike, the injectors, all that good stuff. While you're riding down the road, if you need to make adjustments, you can make them right there on your phone. No more taking off the seat to make those adjustments. I know you guys want to hear this exhaust system, and so do I, but before we do that, I just want to say a huge thank you to the guys over at Cobra for hooking us up with all these products for this build. If you have any questions about anything that we've done on our 2013 Ultra Classic Limited with the Cobra exhaust system, intake, and tuner, please let us know in the comment section below. As always, you can subscribe to our videos, lower right hand corner, click it so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming videos. If you want to get some of these pipes on order today, it couldn't be easier. We've got those pipes and everything from Cobra on cruisercustomizing.com. All you got to do, info button, top right hand corner, click on it. It'll take you to our website so you can look at everything in the Cobra lineup. You can also pick out those exhausts and get them on the way for your bike. So that'll wrap us up for today, everybody. Till next time, my name's John. Please ride safe. Now let's hear what this beast sounds like. As you can see, just at an idle, the thing already sounds so much better than stock. But that's not where the fun part is, so let's give this thing a little more juice. Oh, so much better.